said there are people who listen. If you go and they see leadership of both parties come together to talk to them, it will bring some kind of unity and peace.
I can't sit here and postulate what must be done, but I am saying that it is the same thing that is happening with these vigilante groups. It is almost, some of these things are almost becoming endemic.
Right.
I think it is wrong for anybody to begin to say that regime-specific things. No. We as a nation, we are beginning to face some challenges.
Okay.
Agbogbloshie is one of them. Let us not politicize it. If it is ethnic, let us, like the honorable member for Ododo is saying, if it is ethnic and we believe that there will be an ethnic solution, let us find that solution. I am saying that in this country, we are facing challenges. There are economic challenges, there are challenges in education, there are challenges in health, but this is a threat to our security as a nation.
Right.
And I think it is wrong for people to want to point fingers. I think it is wrong.
What do you think Parliament can do?
I mean, the NDC has no moral rights. You guys, what didn't you do? But
we're
it doesn't take us.
I guess we have
it
now
doesn't
Yes. We're just
from
looking at
the substance of the matter. It is a national security threat, and we must face it. I think it is wrong to be one. And Canada, Japan has done. Look, this matter goes beyond Canada, Japan.
Let's stick with Agbogbloshie. They say in Agbogbloshie, they say that there are arms. No. People have arms. There are arms in wrong hands, and people have said that. Look, we can go on and say this is ethnic based, but there are political undertones, whether you like it or not, and that any party that comes into power seems to the groups that belong to the party in power seems to have the upper hand when it comes to dealing with these
I don't even want to extend it. It is unfortunate when you go to Dagbon, now it has started happening in Nanumba, in the Nanumba area. There is a perennial conflict between the Mampusis and the Kusasis in Boko, perennial. And I have had occasion to sit with the in charge of small arms commission. It is a frightening situation. It is a real frightening situation. I don't think that we have a good regime to control small arms. Recently, just before the elections, did you all of us read about a huge cache of arms that was impounded in Kumasi?
That's right.
These are real threats. I think that you need to invite the gentleman in charge of the small arms and interview him. Your heart will cut. You understand? These are challenges that are facing us. They are not new. They didn't start on the 7th of January 2017. We are living with it. It is happening, and we must find a solution. We must stop the finger pointing.
Okay. What do you say?
First of all, I think that we must all condemn much more like we have done in the case of the previous topic. We must condemn what has happened in Agbogbloshie. Certainly is not helpful, and it is not right for lives to be lost and wasted for whatever reason. Every life is precious, and we must do whatever is needed to ensure that normalcy, peace returns to Agbogbloshie. Yes, you have hinted on speculations that perhaps what occurred may have political undertones, but at this point, we have no concrete evidence to back that assertion. But what we know is that the peace of the place has been disturbed. People have lost their lives. Yeah. And I want to agree with the proposal that we look at bringing in prominent Ghanaian citizens, perhaps persons who command respect within the context of the groups domiciled in Agbogbloshie, to meet with the leadership and try to intervene to bring about a lasting solution, because we must agree that it keeps reoccurring.
Right.
And so it will be important for us to look at a lasting solution to this reoccurrence.
One of the things that the people there I spoke to yesterday said about a lasting solution is that they say that there are parts of the place that that's like a criminal hub. And they say they know it. They will tell you that. They will say they know it. So one of the things they say is that they use the phrase, we should clear that side, that side of Agbogbloshie.
Very well. I think that I saw in the your network and the news that you presented to the public by your visit, the presence of various public officials. I saw the Minister for Interior, Minister for Defense, and a number of members of Parliament.
Yeah.
And I want to suggest that it is time to have a permanent police post there. At least the presence of a police post in that vicinity.
But there's a police post. I think what other people have said is that need a station, like a proper, bigger station. So there's a post already.
If having a police station there is going to help protect lives and to avert, these type of occurrences, I think that it is the least cost that we can bear as a nation
to deal with this situation.
Make sure. And I say so also because of the implications of a conflict in Agbogbloshie, as you know.
In the north.
Yes.
They mentioned that yesterday as well.
The likelihood of a conflict there triggering a conflict at the source of the inhabitants in Agbogbloshie.
Yes. And they told me yesterday that their brothers there, their family members there are calling them.
Fantastic.
And they're asking what is happening. And some of them are saying they've asked them to take it easy.
Fantastic, which is a good thing to do. Even in Ashama, where we also have a very big congregation of people from the northern parts of the country. I spoke to the Member of Parliament only yesterday. And he also had to go there with other colleagues to intervene.
Wow.
Because what was happening in Agbogbloshie was also beginning to trigger a lot of agitation. So it tells you how interconnected our communities are. Although it's happening here, the implications can be a lot more devastating in other parts of the country. But the reason why I think that it is time for us to have the police station there is because the criminal element also tries to use
the conflict, the ethnic conflict
relations and affiliations as a cover for acts of criminality.
Yes.
And that is the area that I think we need to pay a lot more attention to as we are even investigating how and why.
There's the ethnic. They even use the political thing.
Fantastic.
Criminal elements use the political divide.
And the ethnic
exactly. So I'm hearing the bits and pieces of the narrative. Some say somebody stole a phone. Others say it was a cylinder. And, having been apprehended and given some beatings, that person then went and relayed the information, but did not indicate
that he stole a phone.
Which then, triggered the response.
The action. Let's look at
it was more like, because I am so and so from this part of the country, these others have assaulted me without letting them know that this is what I did wrong. So we must be very careful in looking at the triggers for these types of conducts.
We've listed the possible solutions because we're still not sure. So how can, since your government is in power and since you are in Parliament, how can we deal with this? I mean, deal with the solutions, bring in the solutions, station,
I think that those are immediate things we must begin to look into. Okay. But I can tell you, the presence of a police station by itself does not solve the problem. Just putting the police station there and putting 10 or 20 police people there might not solve the problem. It is I think the time has come for us as a nation to, like the psalmist will say, Selah, pause and consider. Okay. We have had over a long period either a lot of conflicts that have come up either as out of ethnicity or politics. And I think that, for instance, in this country we have something we call the National Peace Council. I think that they should not only wait for elections when it is about elections for them to come out and say, let's have a peaceful elections. Sometimes they don't talk about the fairness and everything, but they only talk about, it doesn't matter, even when somebody is putting your head in water, still be quiet and be peaceful. Okay. I don't know the mandate. I have not read the law that established them. But me, if you ask me, I think that His Excellency the President should set up a very high-level panel of eminent Ghanaians that everybody respects and begin to ask these questions. There are conflicts all over. Look, I can tell you, my own view is that this thing that happens in Agbogbloshie, it's just a reflection of something that probably has happened 20, 30 years ago. Okay, all of us lived in this country. When in the mid-80s, this country went through a war, that number conflict. Sometimes we want to laugh it off and say the Guinea Fowl War. But we need to ask ourselves, has it ceased? Is it not still simmering?
When do we start with the solutions?
No, I am not in a position to say. We are just having some analysis here. But I believe that the decision makers will be listening.
You are one of the decision makers.
But I'm a lawmaker.
Yeah.
But the point I want to make is that the Peace Council actually has been up and doing. Unfortunately, the Peace Council has not usually received a lot of publicity from the media.
Oh,
the most they receive usually is when we are gravitating towards the election.
The election.
Yeah, because I have had the chance to represent government at Peace Council events before, when we were in government. And I know, for example, that the Peace Council has been able to map up the country, identify the various hotspots, and they've been mediating in the resolution of various conflicts, the Alabanyo Konya issue, Bokutu, they have been active, the Tuobodom area. So, in fact, they've been doing work that I know, but perhaps what we need to do is to give them more visibility and to also give them the needed encouragement.
So I think we are speaking
the same language.
They can look past the politics.
Oh no, it's okay.
For once,
it's
one of the few times that politicians can get to speak the same language.
It is the reality that faces us as a nation. Look, all of these are flashpoints. Alabanyo Nkonya, it has been over the last
and I can tell you, Agbogbloshie is actually a flashpoint as far as the Peace Council
number two. He talked about Tuobodom, Ofuma, and all of those in the Techiman area.
They are flashpoints. Okay.
We must find a way.
Even the recent issue in Bolga as a result of the recent secession, so they've been active.
They've been active. Okay.
But
well, you're still watching,
so that we can appreciate them a lot more.
You're also watching the AM show. We're with me, Gifty and Dopia. We're looking at the NDC's press conference, and of course, we're looking at the situation, the national security situation, lawlessness, and the Agbogbloshie situation vis-a-vis each other. We'll have to go live to Agbogbloshie, where Roland is standing by to speak to some observers and give us an update on the security situation there. Roland, if you can hear me, you can take over from there.
Live from the Kokumba Yam Market here at Agbogbloshie, and we know that it's been the scene where we witnessed clashes about 2 days ago. And we've had the Minister of the Interior, Ambrose Derry, as well as other important dignitaries and heads of the various security heads in Ghana come here to ascertain the veracity or perhaps the result or the issues perhaps that were underpinning the conflicts that happened. As of now, we have the leadership that have been dedicated, both the Kokumbas as well as the Dagomba, to speak on their behalf. But concretely, what we can see here is that there's still the presence of the security agencies. You have personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces, as well as security personnel of the Ghana Police Service who have made their presence felt. It is important for security to be intensified in this area, more especially when we have the IGP David Asante-Apietu visiting here over the last 24 hours to get to have an insight into what really may have happened and also get to see whether normal business activities could improve. And as of now, you can see that the various personnel of the military are ready to make sure that whatever happens, they clamp down on it as quickly as they can. And just behind me, activities for the various traders of yam and other goods and services are already undertaking briskly their businesses. just to make sure that normal trade and commerce goes on as usually you would find at the Kokuma Yam Market before the conflict or before the event or the incident that happened about 48 as well as 72 hours ago. Many of the residents as well as those who trade here I've spoken to don't seem to be a lot more enthusiastic to speak to the media because they feel that the tensions that characterize the conflict period or the incident period are still rife. And so they are a bit skeptical about speaking to the media. More importantly, they are also not sure, with a lot more trepidation, what they should say, whether they are going to say something that is politically correct or not. I've tried as much as possible to ask many of the residents whether they would want a normalized situation devoid of the political tensions, and many of them are still very much unwilling to talk. We have many of these young men who tried as much as possible not to be involved in the situation as of now, and I would want to speak to a couple of them. Me pacho ete saying
yo pacho penny
na wo ejuma ben na oye no ha no
me ya juma market me yiba yere me tomba
and now Sisia no since the last 24 hours and as 48 hours no sha atmosphere net saying
oh baby abafom ama ya kama baby ya
ese mo ejuma die ni nyina nso koso
baby ya koso kama bishwe ni obi.
Okay, and so that's it. For many of the times when some of these loaders, those who trade in the yams themselves, and some of them drivers are speaking to the media, you get to find that many of their leaders or heads within the leadership try as much as possible not to be in a position where they will interact or speak to the media, and that usually you find that is characterizing the situation here. And it's saying na o ton bayere na say
me to me bayere ton wa
to bit ma da no ho kakra kire me camera no o ferry ana we ferry ani me pacho na ayi o te he
me pacho me te da akoman
nti wu mom no ya be fa bayere na o fa obebi fu France wa beton wa
da bi e beton he ya na yi ya ton wa ha
na sisi ano hwa since ayi nyama ne sisi wa ha no o hwa sisi na atmosphere ne te saying
they say dwana blast say nkrofo suru to mu ntumi ma
nti mo ye edwadifo ne sa nyama na enhamo
ha ye mom ha ye pa
kwan benso
ha ye say the see ye ntama ye bayran kwa kata so ye ba be bra pro and so say anya the see ye na ke bia sa bayran ke ye beton no ye ntumi mbie ne ye maso nti ha ye pa
na ka kire me say bayre no omo de basa na emre na se moton bayere no se mukoyi sa na mo kenkan
a ye koyi a ye koto ne wo bode ho a ye ba ne ye so de abegu ho na ye so ye ton ye koyi ba ya ne ye ton
yo meda wase na mo panyin no so wen
pa cho ye panyin pa wo office ho no
mo office no ho so that's the situation here. You get to find that many of these women they come to the yam market here in Accra. And they try as much as possible to get the quantities that they want based on, of course, what their capital is. And then they have to make ends meet. And if you interact with them, the responses are that because of what happened in terms of the incidents that happened, their trade activities have been disrupted. More critically is the fact that they also have some shortage in their normal daily sales, and also don't have the number of people coming to patronize their wares as usually they would find. Ma it's saying
ayo
na ayi bayern is omo di fi him na omo de ba Kokoma market
ye for north
in fact north dey so
ku se ko bebre wa ho tambale wa ho chamba bonacha for example baza bebre no for bebre ya de ba
na bayern no since nyama ni sisi ye na mo de to na amanfo ambeton no mo bayern ni tesen
ni nyina sai ya baka ni nyina sai ya chukwe sa na pa ya chukwe sa ya baka
nti ya sa na amanfo ambeton
so munda se ni pamba
Sending Pamba, Nina say. Nina say.
No, inti mumpenyi fona ya mo chairman ne wamo amoshe mo market activities no so no wamo se de mumpenyi fona inti se wamo se mwabe no meet me de aboa mo
ani de ma kikire ma age
yes man kasa ho. So there's some level of fear and trepidation among the traders. Now you get to find out for many of these traders, they would have to either come from far and near distances within the capital to come and undertake their trade. Now, it's not only about the quantities and the amount that they deal in, but also the normal patrons who will have to perhaps also come here and don't have the kind of atmosphere they usually are used to. And it's all because of the situation that happened the last 48 to about 78 hours. The IGP so far is assuring that personnel will be stationed here, making sure that the peace and security of the area will be assured.
It's Roland Walker. They're coming to you live from Agbogbloshie, speaking to some of the women who sell yam there. It's actually affected their business. Yesterday they told us a lot of them are unable to go about their normal business because of that unfortunate incident.